What if I told you that the wealthiest, most successful people on the planet are not working harder than you? They're not waking up earlier. They're not skipping weekends. They're not running on caffeine and willpower, hoping something eventually clicks. They're doing something far simpler and far more powerful. They've mastered the one resource that nobody can buy more of, nobody can borrow, and nobody gets back once it's gone: time. And here's what nobody tells you. Most people aren't failing because they're lazy. They're failing because they were never taught how to actually use their time. That they were taught to be busy, to grind, to hustle harder, to answer every message, attend every meeting, and say yes to everyone who asks. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. I know, because that person. I was overwhelmed every single day. I was working constantly, but never really moving forward. That I thought the answer was to push harder, sleep less, and just outwork everyone around me. Until one day I had a realization that completely changed my life. I didn't need more time. I needed to stop wasting the time I already had. And once I fixed that, everything changed. The income, the freedom, the clarity, the confidence, all of it. So if you're ready to stop being busy and start being effective, these are the 6 unbreakable time rules of the top 1%. Rule 1T. Stop being available to everyone. Here's something that took me way too long to learn. Being constantly reachable does not make you a good leader, a good teammate, or a good person. It makes you a bottleneck. It makes you reactive, and over time, it quietly destroys your ability to do anything that actually matters. I used to give everyone access to me. My number, my email, my calendar, open to anyone, anytime. And I told myself it was because I cared. I wanted my team to know I was there for them. But what actually happened was my entire day became other people's agenda. I had no time left for the work that was supposed to move everything forward. And here's the part nobody talks about. There's this quiet shame that comes with setting boundaries, like you're being selfish or unavailable or difficult. But I want to challenge that thinking completely. Because if the people around you cannot function when you step away for a few hours, that is not a you problem. That is a systems problem and a leadership problem. And constantly being available is actually making it worse, not better. Harvard research confirms this, that professionals who protect and guard their time are consistently viewed as more effective, more authoritative, and higher value. The top CEOs in the world are not the most reachable people in the room. They are the most intentional. So here's what I want you to do starting tomorrow. Stop checking messages the moment you wake up. Batch your emails and responses into 2 focused windows. Once mid-morning after your most important work is done, and once in the late afternoon. That's it, 2 windows. When you create space around yourself, something remarkable happens. The people who depend on you start solving their own problems. They grow. They get resourceful, and you finally get your time back. Remember this. Every person does not deserve immediate access to you. If you are always reachable, you are a responder. If you have boundaries, you are a leader. Rule 28. Plan your week before it plans you. Let me ask you something. Do you ever get to Monday morning and already feel behind? That feeling isn't random. It's the direct result of walking into a new week without a game plan. When you have no plan, every problem feels urgent. Every request feels important. And before you know it, it's Friday and you have no idea where the week went. The fix is simple, but most people skip it entirely. Every Sunday night, sit down for 20 minutes and map your week like a coach, drawing up plays before game day. Write out your top priorities for each day. Ask yourself one powerful question for every single day of the week. What has to happen today for this week to be a success? Not what could happen. Not what would be nice. What has to happen? Monday has a job. Tuesday has a job. Every single day has a specific purpose. And when you operate this way, you stop reacting to your week and you start directing it. Think of it like this. A football team doesn't walk onto the field and figure it out as they go. They have a strategy, they have a game plan, and the most successful people in business treat their week the exact same way. When you decide the play before the game starts, you stop being a passenger in your own life and you start being the driver. Rule 3, that your health is the foundation, not a luxury. I want to say something clearly and directly. You cannot build a high-performance life on a broken-down body. This is not about looking good. This is not about fitness culture or wellness trends. This is about the most practical truth in high performance. When you feel good physically, you think better, decide better, lead better, and create better. Period. I cut out Diet Coke, caffeine, gluten, and dairy. I work out 3 to 4 times a week. I sleep 8 full hours every single night. My phone goes to sleep at 9:30, and so do I. That gets me up at 5:30 every morning feeling sharp, focused, and ready. And here is what I had to stop telling myself, that I was too busy to prioritize my health. Because every time I skipped a workout, every time I stayed up too late, every time I ate badly and ran on stress, I paid for it. In bad decisions, in low energy, in short patience, in mediocre work. The cost of neglecting your health is always higher than the hour you saved by skipping it. So treat your workouts like board meetings. That block them in your calendar and do not move them, set a bedtime alarm. Plan your meals in advance so hunger doesn't become a decision you have to make when you're already exhausted. Take the randomness out of your physical routine entirely. Because here is the truth the top 1% understand deeply. Health isn't what you do after you become successful. Health is how you become successful. It is the foundation everything else is built on. And the moment you start treating it that way, your entire output changes. Rule 40, your calendar is your most valuable asset. Look at your calendar right now. Really look at it. Now ask yourself, does this calendar reflect the life you're trying to build? Or does it reflect everyone else's priorities? Because if you're constantly busy but not making real progress, the answer is almost certainly the second one. Other people are spending your time like it belongs to them. And at some point, you have to decide to take it back. A Harvard Business School study that analyzed top executives found that the highest performers spent 43% of their time on intentional, pre-planned strategic work. Not emails, not reactive meetings, not ad hoc requests that showed up uninvited. Deliberate, planned, purposeful work. Meanwhile, most people spend their entire day in reactive mode, answering, responding, reacting, and wondering at the end of the week why nothing moved forward. Here is a powerful exercise I want you to try this week. Look at every single item on your calendar and treat it like money. If that meeting was $200 out of your pocket, would you still go? If that daily check-in call was $50 every time, would it still be worth it? When you evaluate your time like currency, you get ruthless in the best possible way. You find the stand-ups that should be emails, that you cut the lunch meetings that never lead anywhere. You delegate the tasks that don't require you specifically.
Yeah.
And almost immediately you will find 5 to 10 hours hiding in your week that you can redirect toward what actually matters. Your calendar is not just a schedule. It is a direct reflection of your priorities. Make sure it actually shows what you value. Rule FEVZ, review every day. Adjust every day. Most people set a plan on Monday and then just survive the week. The top 1% set the plan and then actively manage it every single day. Think about a football team again. They don't just execute the same game plan from the first quarter to the last, no matter what is happening in the field. They read the game. They make adjustments at halftime. They change the play when the defense shifts. Your week works exactly the same way. Every evening, I spend 15 minutes doing a personal daily review. I ask myself 3 questions. What worked today? What did not work? And what am I going to adjust tomorrow to make it better? This is not journaling for the sake of it. There is actual science behind this. A Harvard Business School study found that people who spent just 15 minutes reflecting at the end of each day performed 23% better after only 10 days. That is a massive return on 15 minutes. When you do this consistently, you start noticing your own patterns. You realize that your sharpest thinking happens before noon. That back-to-back meetings completely destroy your focus. That checking Slack first thing in the morning derails your entire morning. And once you know your patterns, that you can engineer your days around them. That is how your tomorrow is always better than your today. Not by grinding harder, by getting smarter about how you move through your days, because it does. Deep work is the most valuable thing you can do with your time. It is focused, uninterrupted, high-quality thinking. It is the writing, the strategy, the problem-solving, the creative work that actually builds your career, your business, your life. And most people treat it like an afterthought. They squeeze it into the leftover gaps between meetings. They attempt it while notifications are firing. They try to focus while their phone buzzes on the desk. And then they wonder why they feel busy all day but never actually accomplish anything meaningful. Here is a statistic from the University of California that stopped me cold. Once you are interrupted, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to fully return to your original task. 23 minutes. Gone. Every single time you check your phone, glance at an email, or let someone pop into your workspace during focused time. So here is what the top 1% do. They treat deep work as sacred. They block it first thing in the morning when the mind is freshest. They close Slack. They shut down the inbox. They put the phone in another room. And they protect that 90-minute window like their goals depend on it. Because they do. tomorrow morning before you check a single message, that before you answer a single email, block 90 minutes of uninterrupted deep work, 6 to 7:30, 9 to 10:30, whatever works for your schedule. But make it the first real thing you do with your day. The most successful people in the world are not paid to be busy. They are paid to think, to decide, to create. And you cannot do any of those things well when you are constantly distracted. Protect the deep work. Everything else follows. Here is what I need you to understand before you close this. You will never find more time. Nobody is getting extra hours. Nobody is getting a longer day. That the person who is outperforming you right now has the exact same 24 hours you do. The difference is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even hard work. The difference is a decision, a daily deliberate decision to stop letting time happen to them and start making time work for them. Every rule in this script is something you can act on today, not next Monday, not when things slow down, not when you finally get organized today. Be less available. Plan your week on Sunday. Treat your health like a business asset. Audit your calendar like a bank account. Review your day every single evening. And protect your deep work like your entire future is sitting on the other side of it. Because it is. The top 1% are not superhuman. They are not working in secret. They simply decided that their time was worth protecting. And the moment you make that same decision, everything changes. Your time is your most valuable asset. Spend it like you mean it. Now go build something worth your time.